Welcome to the Moonrise Human Design YouTube channel. We are so happy, whatever it is that brought you to this channel, to learn more about human design from me, Nadia, and Sam today. In this video, you can expect to learn more about the 3-5 profile in human design.
You know, the Moonrise Human Design community is about education, but it's more than that too. So it's about learning human design, but we really view human design as just a way to get closer to your heart, to learn about yourself, and to contemplate what it means to be your authentic self and to love yourself more. And then in doing that, we're able to understand and love others more. So thank you so much for being a part of this and being a part of this mission that we have. My name is Sam Fotenhauer. I'm an embodiment coach, intuitive, and a human design reader based in Austin, Texas.
And my name is Nadia Last. I am a therapist and I use human design in my therapy practice in addition to other tools and modalities. And I'm based in the Bay Area, California. And together we created Moonrise to really allow you to tap into your heart. So welcome to this awakening experience. We're so happy you're here. If you are interested in learning more about human design, we offer a ton of resources and information on our YouTube, on our podcast that we have, the Moonrise Human Design Podcast, also on our Instagram Moonrise community. There's a price accessible guidebook that you can receive a PDF on our website based on entering your birth information. We also offer live and self-paced human design trainings a few times a year. And we also offer individualized readings. There's a lot of information in human design. And if you want to learn about the synthesis of how all of these pieces work together, we would encourage you to seek out one of those offerings.
So we're going to start with talking about profiles. This video is about the 3-5 profile. So before we do, Nadia, what is a profile?
A profile in its simplest essence is basically how you are designed to use and to share your gifts with the world. Learning about your profile, which is written as a fraction, so this is about the 3-5 profile, each of those numbers has a certain energy to it. And when you study and contemplate your profile, you're able to recognize, that's that part of my personality that I've noticed before or that other people have pointed out in me. And your profile is basically the role that you are intended to play.
Yes. So these numbers, so there's 6 lines. This is a little background of the mechanics of the profile. There's 6 different profile lines, and they're literally just first line, second line, third line, fourth line. And everybody has 2 different lines. That's what makes it up. So the 3-5 has a third line and a fifth line. And so we talk about each of them individually and then we talk about them together. The order matters here. So a 3 is your first number. The first number in human design, we call it the conscious line, but it's basically the type, the archetype, the aspect of the way that you share your gifts that you're likely going to feel more connected to. It's going to kind of lead in your life, where the second line is something that you're likely to feel a little bit less connected to, that other people can see in you a little bit more than you can see in yourself. We kind of like to think of it as like the supporting character, though both of them are important and are important to connect with. Should we start with the third line?
Let's do it. So the third line is what's called the martyr energy in human design. And that language martyr, it actually means that there's a level of sort of like sacrifice that's involved here. And as a third line, you are actually intended to live life through trial and error. You want to experience things firsthand. You are designed to sort of move through the world and say, okay, I want to get my hands dirty a little bit. I don't want to just observe. I want to be fully in the experience of life. You want to roll up your sleeves. You want to get your hands dirty. And your sacrifice as a martyr to humanity is, here you go. I tried it all so that you don't have to. Here's what works really well. Here's what didn't work so well. And as a third line, you're actually designed to be quite resilient and to bounce back from challenges and setbacks and things that don't work, to recognize like, oh, like that didn't work. Like it's more annotative versus like really, necessarily brought down by the experience of failing, so to speak. Mm-hmm. As a third line, there is no failure. It's one of the greatest qualities of the third line is that you're able to say, hey, that wasn't a failure. What did I learn from that experience?
If you learned something, it wasn't a failure. And that is a mantra to take into anything in your life. The third line bumps up against life. That's your whole life. You'll be on the ground floor, doing things, feeling so good, bumping up against it, be like, wow, I have some bruises, some scrapes from that. the beauty of that, one of your gifts is that you're naturally resilient. You can handle the ups and downs in life because you're meant to be in it. It's a part of what your soul chose in this life and how to experiment. And in doing that, you get all this extra information that then informs the rest of us who aren't out there doing it, who don't have that, and are showing us this is what works and this is what doesn't work. And you empower us through your resiliency and through your ability to live in life. There can be this adventurous quality of the third lines.
Absolutely. Adventurous, free-spirited. There are lots of different ways that you can be a third line, but I would say that the quintessential form is don't tell me what is right or wrong or what will work or what doesn't. I need to experience it myself. And so if you're a third line, empower yourself to go after the experiences that you want to have firsthand. They are meant for you. They are meant for you to just sort of be in the immersiveness of this 3D reality.
The desires that you have, the things that you want to experience are not a coincidence. Like, especially the things that you keep coming back to that last months and years that you heard about 5 years ago and you've always wanted to do that thing or try that thing. Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody wants to do the things that you're drawn to, and there's a reason for that. And so give yourself permission. There is no such thing as being too old. You're never too old, it's never too late. So if there's something that you want to do and you're like, well, that's really something that younger people do, or I really should have gotten into that younger, if it calls to you, you're allowed to do it, you will enjoy it, and you're meant to be in there.
Absolutely. So that's the third line. Then let's get into the fifth line, which is called the heretic in human design. That language is a little bit intense, but heretical energy as a fifth line, you're basically just designed to be a problem solver, and not just a problem solver. I didn't mean to say just. Like, you were designed to solve things, to make things better, to find new and innovative ways of doing things that bring us forward as humanity. So pay attention as a fifth line. What are the problems that I want to be solving? What are the things that I really want to sink my teeth into? And as a fifth line, you will be able to be heretical, meaning you'll be able to go against the grain, go against the status quo and say, I know we've always done it this way before, but now there's a new and better way of doing this.
Fifth lines have this ability to see a universal solution, a solution about, let's say, like one area of your life. Wow, if everybody could just do this. So I was talking to a fifth line recently who's a physical therapist, and he's very much for years is developing workout routines. And he was like, if I could get everybody to work out in a way that includes this quality, this quality, and this quality, this will significantly reduce the injuries that come to me. Yeah. It's so obvious to him. And it's this clarity of like, okay, if we can do this, it'll affect the universe. It's a huge population of people. And so fifth lines have this ability to see in that way. And their ideas are meant to be spread. There's a special energy with fifth lines where your idea has this dispersal quality. And so other people will see themselves in your ideas and take it and go with it. Fifth lines have what is called like an impersonal influence. And so you can sit next to somebody on an airplane and have a conversation, share your idea with them, and they may think about it 5 years later, where you may not have as much of that influence with like your best friend that he's told that to a million times. There's this quality where you can get your information out, and it's partly because of this energy disperse it. It's important that people who maybe aren't personally connected to you but come across your idea because you share on a podcast or you're shared at a conference or you give a TED talk, get this and run with it.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting energetic way that you're designed to disperse your information. The way that your message can spread far and wide is because everybody hears what you're saying, everybody hears this idea and is able to apply it and filter it through their unique lens so that it can transform their lives and their way of doing things. But because of that, it's always a bit of a game of telephone. And as a result, you might feel as a fifth line, does anybody actually see who I am? Or are they just projecting onto me so that they can receive my message what they want to see in me? So as a fifth line, you are really designed to sort of like remove yourself sometimes from the projection field where people are like, you are the savior sometimes. Like, you are the fixer. You are the great problem solver. And I want you to like solve all my problems for me. You need to kind of remove yourself from that energy of projection that you receive and get clear with yourself, filter through your own strategy and authority, which you can learn about on this YouTube channel, about what are the problems that I actually want to be solving and how can I sort of like get clear within myself about how I want to move forward.
So as Nadia is saying, like, your energy, it's literally just in who you are. People will view you as a problem solver. They'll view you as a savior, and you are absolutely very capable. and you have the ability, it's like they view it because there's truth in that, and you're most likely going to be pedestaled. You're going to be saying like, oh, this person can help me with things that you actually aren't equipped to help with. And there might be times when you are equipped, but you don't have the time and the energy. It's very easy for others to see things in you that are not fully true, or to see part of your qualities, ignoring others, and then for you to feel not fully seen. And it's one of the challenges of being a fifth line, is to, one, find community that really sees them, but also get comfortable with the idea, or just neutralize around it, accept it. You don't have to get comfortable, but accept the idea that some people will see me in ways that are not fully accurate. They'll take a part of this picture, and it's part of that dispersal quality. It's part of that to share the gift. It helps that work, but it can bring pain in it. It can also just be annoying because you're like, I don't have time for all of this, and everyone's asking me for help, and everyone wants something from me, and I don't have time for it. And so fifth lines often need to go through a process of learning boundaries and working with people pleasing, and really figuring out, to Nadia's point, what problems do I want to solve and what problems do I not, even if that means that person who asked for my help was a little bit disappointed.
100%. So there's so much more that we can talk about in the fifth line that we get into in more of our other like specific offerings. But let's talk about the interplay of the 3 and the 5 together. I've read that it is described, this 3-5 profile, as the great fixer, because there's these two beautiful qualities that work together. The third line that's like, let's do it live. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get in there. Let's make it happen. Let's like, every day needs to be a little bit different experientially for a third line. That's how I've heard a lot of third lines describe their lived experiences. I want there to be sort of variety. I want there to be always new experiences to be had. And the fifth line brings this problem solving energy to it, where it's like, hey, every day is a new problem to fix. So as a 3-5, you are actually designed to just sort of, I'm thinking of one of my good friends who is the head of a comms department, PR, where there's a new thing that's on fire every day. And she's like, I love it, because every day is a new problem to solve. Every day there's something on fire. And the 3-5 profile is uniquely equipped to swing into a scene of distress and be like, hey, I know how to solve this. I know how to fix this.
The other thing is like, so different human design lines will be like kind of the research department, like how they learn. And so as a fifth line, you'll have the solution to share, but like, where do you learn? Where do you get that part of the solution? So there are other types where they learn more from studying and from more like a more traditional educational route. For you, you learn by going out into the world. And so you'll go out into the world, you'll bump up against things, you'll have lived experiences, and then in that see, oh wait, here's a problem. And then your fifth line quality, oh, here's what I'm going to solve. So what you share is base, which is another reason why you got to get out there and do those things. Like the things that are calling you forward, there's a reason. There might be something in there waiting for you to help develop it.
So well said. Yes. So as a third line, as a 3-5, ask yourself, what experiences do I want to have? What do I want to be in and immerse myself within? And what problems do I want to solve? And if you don't know the problems you want to solve, give yourself more experiences. If you feel exhausted in the problem solving, give yourself more experiences.
Yeah. Nadia, anything else that you want to say before we close this out?
We love 3-5 profiles. Thank you so much for being here, for being alive, for tuning into these frequencies of your energy. And if you want to learn more about the rest of the profiles, we have a whole series deep diving into them. And if you want to learn more from either of us, all of our offerings are in the video description.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm thinking of like 10 other things.
I know.
So come back, leave us questions, engage, let us know what you're interested in, and we can create more content around it.
Yeah. If you're a 3-5 profile, we'd love to hear in the comments anything that resonated with you or any questions you have. We're really engaged in community comments.
Thank you.